Hey, what's going on, everybody? Norman Maktaima at the bench today. So, I am going to do a pattern. Very difficult, very complicated. Takes a lot of focus, patience, and, this is basically going to really work your skills as a fly tyer. What fly is this? It is the EGGSTACY egg. Our dog's missing apparently. But anyway, the EGGSTACY egg. I'm just kidding. It's not very difficult at all. Very, very basic. For the most part, you have a hook, bead, thread, egg yarn. What I'm really going to focus on right in this video is going to be tying in the material and manipulating the material and using that to demonstrate how to basically palmer your egg yarn on so you get that effect of all the material getting pushed or flowing back in the direction you want it to go. So this will apply to other materials, other yarns, Palmer chenille, blob material, dubbing loops, any of that stuff that you are trying to get that effect of having the material lay in a single direction, in this case towards the bend of the hook or towards the tail end of the hook. So anyway, I'm not really concerned about material, hook size, bead size, or anything like that. We're really going to focus on the technique itself and how to get that desired effect with the material you got. So anyway, glad to be back on the bench and to get tying again for you guys. And look who decided to visit. We got little Povey. She'll be helping tie as well. Maybe, probably not. She'll probably just run away and do something else. So anyway, all right, let's get to it, and I'll show you guys how to do this. Okay, so as you can see, we have the jig hook and the bead put in place. Again, I'm not too concerned about the hook style or size bead or any of that stuff. We're just going to get to utilizing the EGGSTACY material. And as I mentioned before, not really concerned about color or anything like that, although for all of y'all, that's the fluorescent sunburst that I'll be doing today, which is this material. As you can see, it already cut it down to a more manageable size. So I know that's not totally in focus, but once we get it in, you can kind of see how some of these little pieces are kind of clumped together. They're not really nice and workable in my opinion. So what I'll show you here is how I get it to that state. So what I'm going to do is you can kind of see all this material folds or is oriented in a direction, meaning they all kind of face like a hackle in a more directional position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the end. So most of the material is facing to my left here. So I'm going to go to the right end of the material, holding it horizontal, and then I'm just going to strip away. And like most chenilles, you can just strip away from the core. Once I get that core exposed, that's going to be my tie-in point, okay? So before I get going on that, I'm going to go ahead and lay down a little base layer of thread. Now I'm not going to go too far in. The thread I'm using is Glow Bright. I believe this is number 8, so it's a kind of an amber orange. All right, so just laying down a few wraps of thread. I'm going to go ahead and take my core. I'm going to take my core and just lay it right down where the thread meets the hook, and then just secure in with a turn, and then work my way back towards where the core and the material start. Let me start that over. It's a little too far back. All right. I don't need to go all the way back with this material to get the full egg profile. I'm going to come up towards the bead again and just kind of fill in a little bit behind the bead in the slot there. Okay, so now I got my material secured. What I'm going to do is just take a little Velcro strip, your dubbing brush or whatever you want to use. The Velcro strip's nice, it's not too aggressive. And then I'm actually going to just brush this material out. Once you got it here, and once I got the camera, or get this camera out of my face, I can do the entire piece that I have tied in. But you can see now all the material's combed out, and it's going to be a lot easier to work with. Okay, now that I got that brushed out, I can go ahead and start preening my material. So like with all chenilles, especially your EGGSTACYs, Palmer chenille, hackle if you will, your blob material, and this ecstasy yarn, you can just take that material and fold it back, and you can see how the core is exposed there, and it naturally has a side that the material will want to fold or separate. So I'm just going to find that it's a spine, if you will, and with the core exposed there. So once I got that pulled back, I can go ahead and just start wrapping with that core facing forward, and then wrapping each turn in front of that exposed core as I work my way up. Every time I preen this back, so I'm always pulling the material back to keep that core exposed moving forward or wrapping forward. I can use my thumb and forefinger to keep pushing that bead towards the eye. That keeps it in place. And then once I'm right at the base of the bead, and get one more turn in there, just kind of pull that up and take my thread, bring it up high, directly vertically above the hook shank, and I'm going to pull my egg yarn, whatever material I'm doing this, and then pull it into the thread itself. Pull it towards me into the thread. Hold it there, do a couple turns, pull my material back, do a couple turns in front, lock it down with those turns, and come in. I'm just going to push through with open scissor tips. So I just took my scissor tip, held it on the core there, and then push through. Just like you would do with hackle, so you don't cut anything else. Or create a, kind of a flat top cut. Nice to keep things a little more natural looking. I'm going to go in, if my core is exposed there, I can wrap that down. Take my whip finisher, do a couple turns to hold, just to keep it locked in. Then I'll go ahead and take my resin, my UV resin. I'm going to coat the thread. Oh, a little too big of a blob there. Get that under control. And then use my extended whip finisher or extra large whip finisher. Get all that UV resin wrapped in. So your layers of wraps are coated. And then I'm just going to pull down on the thread to really lock it down on the whip finish. And then same thing, scissor tip open, and then just push the scissor tip through. Okay, now once I got that there, I will go ahead and hit it with the UV light. Now you can see with this fluorescent sunburst how much that UV makes it glow. It's pretty bright. Put your shades on. Give it a few seconds, let it set. And boom, there we go. So that's pretty much almost a done ecstasy egg. I'll just go into my little Velcro brush and just brush everything, because as you wrap forward, sometimes material does get trapped in. You don't really necessarily need to do this, but if you want your material to really lay out and lay nicely. And again, this is just a demonstration as to this type of material. It'll get it nice and preened and pulled back. So that's again with your dubbing loops as well, to create that palmered effect. That's what we're going for. So anyway, that's your done egg, ecstasy egg. Get some light off of that because it is pretty bright. All right, there you go. Hopefully that's a good one for you guys. And a little tip on tying technique and material manipulation. All right, so that's the ecstasy egg. Very easy. for the most part. You know, nothing crazy about it, but at the same time, that's how you manipulate the material and palmer your yarns, chenilles, dubbing loops, all that stuff onto the hook to create that that effect of material flowing back towards the tail end of the hook. So anyway, got a whole stack of them here, doing a little order for some people, and nothing crazy, you know, junk flies. They're fun, they're easy. Wintertime, a lot of stalkers. But they're always good to have, especially for a searching pattern. Bobby says hi, by the way. All right, well, that's gonna wrap it up. You know where to find me, Bobby. What do you got to say? More stuff? Anyway, that's going to be it. Enmok Time of Fly Fishing. Follow me on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Appreciate all that have been following, especially during this downtime. Definitely finding it difficult to get material and content to you guys through the guiding season, which is not a bad thing. But I haven't forgotten you guys. So you can follow me on Facebook as well, Instagram. I still have Patreon going, and again, you know, very difficult to get that, keep that maintained and updated, but doing my best. So I'll start working on that again. So anyway, hope you all are getting out fishing, tying flies, and we'll see you out in the water soon. Here, going to bring you some more on the river videos and tutorials. All right, guys, take care and get out there. Laters.